Let's get right into it. Number 9. The third eyelid that could see in the dark. Imagine waking up in a pitch-black cave. Flashlights, no phones, no night vision goggles, just you and the sound of something breathing in the shadows. You're blind, but your ancestors, they blinked, saw through the dark. Not magic, not sci-fi. A real, biological night vision shield built into their eyes, a third eyelid, like a reptilian visor that slid across the eye from the corner. You've seen it in cats? Hate that milky membrane that flicks across when they're half asleep? That's the nictitating membrane. And guess what? You still have the ghost of it. Look in the mirror. See that little pink bump in the corner of your eye? That's all that's left. A shriveled relic of a time when humans didn't just see in the dark, we hunted in it. Back when night wasn't for Netflix and doom scrolling, but for survival. When predators with glowing eyes stalked the edges of the firelight, you're ancient. Relatives didn't need torches. They had a built-in windshield wiper for their eyeballs. Self-lubricating, self-cleaning, and semi-transparent. They could scan the darkness without drying out their eyes. Blink, and the membrane would sweep across, clearing dust, blocking debris, and letting in just enough light to spot movement. It was like having a HUD heads-up display in your face. While you're adjusting your phone's brightness. Your great-grandparents were scanning the jungle with organic night vision goggles, but then we tamed fire. We built shelters. We stopped sleeping in trees. And evolution said, cool trick, but we're moving indoors now. So it didn't delete the third eyelid, it just left it there like a forgotten app on your phone. Still installed. Updated now, that little pink nub, it's useless. It doesn't move, doesn't protect. But sometimes, when you're exhausted, red-eyed, and staring at a screen too long, that's your body trying to reactivate a lost superpower. You're not just tired, you're evolutionarily frustrated. And honestly, in a world where we walk into glass doors and forget where we parked the car, maybe we should have kept the night vision upgrade, number 8. The tail that could balance you like a tightrope walker. You've seen it in cartoons. The little nub that sticks out when someone's angry, but this isn't a joke. For over 60 million years, our ancestors had real tails, long, muscular, rope-like extensions that helped them balance, swing, and survive. And not just any tail, a prehensile one. It means it could grip. Picture this. You're 5 million. Years ago, sprinting across a collapsing branch, arms full of fruit, predator closing in, and your tail hooks onto a vine at the last second, saving your life. That wasn't rare. That was Tuesday. Your spine didn't end in a coccyx. It ended in a lever, a counterweight, built-in gyroscope. While modern humans wobble on one foot trying to put on pants, your ancestors could leap between trees with the precision of a parkour athlete, all because of that tail. It wasn't just for balance either. Some early primates used their tails to communicate. A flick meant danger. Curl meant curiosity, a slow wave. That was ancient flirting. Then came the ground as forests shrank and savannas spread. Climbing became less important than walking. And walking on 2 legs? Tails get in the way. Try sprinting with a tail dragging behind you. It's like running with a scarf tied to your back. Wind resistance, tripping hazard. It's evolutionary liability. So the tail got chopped. Literally. Genetically. Single mutation. A broken gene called TBXT silenced the tail-growing instructions. And just like that, the tail was gone. But here's the creepy part. Some babies are still born with tails. Not cartilage, not tumors. Flesh and blood tails up to 5 inches long, with nerves, blood vessels, even voluntary control. Doctors usually remove them. They're proof the blueprint is still in your DNA. We didn't lose the tail because we couldn't grow it. We lost it because we chose through evolution to stop. And some scientists think that tail loss might have been the price of intelligence. No tail meant more energy for the brain, more spinal flexibility for upright posture, more room for complex nerves. So next time you trip over nothing, blame evolution. We traded a built-in stabilizer for the ability to write poetry. Worth it. Debatable. Number 7. The night vision pupils that split like a cat's. You know how. A cat's eyes glow in the dark, how their pupils turn into vertical slits when the lights go down. That's not just for style. It's a biological light amplifier. And your ancestors had it too. Not fully, but for a critical period in primate. Evolution. Early humans, or at least our close relatives, had vertically slit pupils, just like leopards and owls. Why? Because we were nocturnal hunters while you're scrolling TikTok at 2 a.m. Your great-grandparents were awake, eyes scanning the forest floor for insects, lizards, and small mammals. Their pupils could narrow to a hairline in bright light, then expand into wide, light-gulping slits in the dark. It wasn't just about seeing more. It was about seeing clearly. A slit pupil reduces glare, sharpens focus, and gives depth perception in low light, like nature's version of a camera aperture. But then we moved into the daylight, as we started relying more on color vision, social cues, and hand-eye coordination. The nightlife became a liability. You can't read facial expressions in the dark. You can't throw spears accurately without good light, so evolution said we're going diurnal. The slit closed, the pupil went round, and we lost one of the most efficient light-capturing systems in the animal kingdom. Now, you walk into a dark room and stumble over the couch, that's not clumsiness. That's your body missing a lost superpower. Your eyes are trying to adapt, but the software is outdated. Fun fact, some primates still have slit pupils. The loris, a slow-moving primate from Southeast Asia, has huge vertical eyes and hunts at night with silent precision. Looks like a stuffed animal. It moves like a ninja. And it can see in near total darkness, something you'll never do, no matter how long you wait for your eyes to adjust. So yeah, I traded night vision for group chats. Number 6. The extra set of kidneys that filtered poison like a lab. You have 2 kidneys, right? Filtering blood, removing toxins, keeping you alive. But millions of years ago, your ancestors had 4, not all at once, but in stages of backup filtration system so advanced. It could process toxins that would kill a human in hours. Early mammals lived in a world full of poisons. Plants developed chemical warfare. Insects secreted neurotoxins. Food wasn't labeled. There was no do not eat warning on berries. You either evolved a better filter, or you died. So nature gave our ancestors a dual-stage kidney system. Like having a primary and secondary air purifier. The first kidney would catch the big toxins. The second would break down the leftovers. Some even had specialized lobes for metabolizing alkaloids, heavy metals, even snake venom sound extreme. Look at the opossum, has a similar system. It can survive a cobra bite because its blood has natural venom inhibitors in its kidneys. Flush it out fast. Our lineage had something similar. Fossil evidence and genetic markers show that early primates had more complex renal systems than we do today. But as we started cooking food, avoiding toxic plants, and relying on social knowledge, don't eat the red berry. We didn't need such heavy-duty detox, so evolution downgraded. One pair stayed, the other atrophied. The genes were silenced. Now, a single mushroom can shut down your kidneys. One bad batch of sushi can land you in the ER. We didn't just lose a backup organ. We lost our biological hazmat suit. And in a world full of processed food, microplastics, and energy drinks, maybe we should have kept that second pair online. Number 5. The built-in gills that let you hold your breath for 10 minutes. No, you couldn't breathe underwater. But your ancient ancestors had gill arches, the same structures that turn into gills in fish, and in the womb, they still grow. Every human embryo, at around 4 weeks, develops pharyngeal arches, little ridges in the neck that look like gill slits. In fish, these become gills. In us, they turn into jawbones, ear canals, and throat structures. But here's the wild part. Some scientists believe these arches were repurposed, not abandoned. That they gave early humans an edge in breath holding. Think about it. Our ancestors foraged in shallow waters for shellfish, seaweed, crabs. To do that, they needed to dive, not for seconds, for minutes. And some modern humans can. The Bajau. People of Southeast Asia sea nomads can dive 200 feet and stay underwater for over 10 minutes. No oxygen tanks, no training, just biology, They have larger spleens, which act like oxygen reservoirs. And genetic studies show they've evolved to use oxygen more efficiently. But what if that ability isn't new? What if it's ancient, a remnant of a time when humans weren't just land animals, but amphibious? The aquatic ape hypothesis is controversial, but it's not crazy. Loss of body hair, webbing between fingers. Some babies are born with it. The way human babies instinctively hold their breath underwater all point to a semi-aquatic past, so those gill slits in the embryo. Maybe they weren't just a throwback. Maybe they were a blueprint for a body built to survive in water. We didn't evolve gills, but we evolved around them, repurposing the same structures for speech, hearing, and breath control. Next time you panic in a pool, remember, your body used to be built for this. Number 4. The UV vision that lets you see hidden messages in sunlight. You think you see the world in full color? You're missing most of it. Bees can see ultraviolet light. Birds use it to track nectar trails. Reindeer use it to spot predators in the snow. And your ancestors? They could too, long before sunglasses and SPF 50, early primates had tetrachromatic vision for types of color receptors, not 3. That means they could see invisible patterns in flowers, fur, and skin, UV signals that guided mating. Foraging. In survival, imagine walking through a field and seeing glowing trails on petals. Nectar maps only visible in UV or spotting. A potential mate because their face lit up under sunlight like a neon sign? That's not fantasy. Yeah, that was reality. Fossil evidence in primate genetics show that early mammals had broader light sensitivity. As we evolved, we lost the UV receptor, likely because we became more reliant on social cues, facial expressions, and daylight vision. But the traces remain. Some humans, mostly women, are tetrachromats. They have 4 cone cells and can distinguish colors you can't even imagine. To them, a single shade of green might look like 10 different hues. You're not seeing more, you're seeing less. And in a world where we're drowning in artificial light and screen glare, maybe we traded too much. We lost the ability to read nature's secret code, the UV messages written in sunlight. Number 3. The retractable claws that made you a silent hunter. You think your fingernails are weapons? Try retractable claws like a cat, but on every finger. Some early primates had semi-retractable digits, with curved, sharp nails that could extend and retract. Not for climbing, for hunting. Picture this. You're stalking through the underbrush, silent, barefoot, eyes locked on a small rodent. You don't grab it, you pounce. Your fingers unfurl like blades, pinning the prey instantly. No noise, no struggle. These weren't claws like a tiger's, more like built-in steak knives, hidden under skin and fur, deployed only when needed. But as we evolved opposable thumbs and started using tools, claws became a problem. You can't carve a spear with claws. You can't weave a basket. Can't high-5. So they flattened. They softened. They turned into nails. But look at your fingers. That hard white tip. That's the last remnant of a weapon that once helped. You survive, and when you tap your nails on a table, that's not nervous energy. That's your body remembering a lost hunting tool. Number 2, the fur coat that changed color with the seasons. You think goosebumps are just a reaction to cold? They're a ghost of a lost superpower. Back when humans were covered in thick fur, goosebumps fluffed that fur up, trapping heat in winter, shedding it in summer.
Oh.
But some primates went further. They had seasonal camouflage fur that changed. Color like a chameleon. Not fully, but enough. Lighter in winter, darker in summer. Some even had stripes that broke up their silhouette in the forest. And the erector pili muscles, the ones that cause goosebumps, they weren't just for warmth. They made you look bigger. When threatened, your ancestors could puff up there. Fur like a cat, making themselves look twice as large. Silent warning, don't mess with me now. All that muscle does is give you tiny bumps when you're cold or scared. We lost the fur. We lost the camouflage. We lost the intimidation display. But the reflex remains. So the next time you get goosebumps watching a horror movie, know this. Your body is trying to grow a fur coat it hasn't had for millions of years. Number 1. The built-in compass that navigated by Earth's magnetic field. Close your eyes. Spin around. Now point north. You can't, but your ancestors could. Not with a phone. Not with a watch. With their bones, some animals, birds, sea turtles, even foxes can sense Earth's magnetic field. They have magnetite crystals in there. Bodies, tiny compass needles that align with the planet's poles, and humans. We have them too. Found in the ethmoid bone, right behind your nose. Magnetite, iron-based crystals that respond to magnetic fields. Studies show that when exposed to rotating magnetic fields, the human brain reacts even if we're not consciously aware of it. Our alpha waves shift. Our subconscious knows something is happening. So did we once have a built-in GPS? It's possible. Early humans migrated across continents from Africa to Australia, across ice sheets and deserts with no maps, no stars, no instruments. Yet they found their way. Maybe they didn't just follow rivers and landmarks. Maybe they felt the planet like a bird, like a sea turtle, like a creature tuned into the Earth's frequency. Then we built cities. We lived indoors. We drowned in artificial signals. And that sense faded, not gone, just buried. But sometimes when you're lost in a forest or a foreign city, and you suddenly know which way to go, that's not luck. That's your ancient compass trying to wake up. We traded instinct for technology. But deep down, your body still knows how to navigate the world if you just stop and listen.